Today on Channel 8 News, we'll take a look at the reason for field burnings and the benefits they bring to soil, as well as updates on a new mental health crisis center and fundraising for the Flint Hills Discovery Center.
We'll also meet a local vinyl enthusiast and review the highlights from K-State's football spring showcase.
On in the show, we'll take a look at this week's upcoming weather, as well as Easter's rainy day predictions.
This is KKSU-LD, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Good morning, and welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Alex Gailey.
And I'm Amelia Andrews. Last night around 9 p.m., the Manhattan Fire Department responded to a report of a fire at 415 Walters Drive, apartment A08. The original call reported that tenants may have been trapped inside. Upon arrival, crews found the apartment empty. Flames are visible on the roof and on the back of the building.
The fire reached a second alarm, but was contained within 20 minutes. No injuries are reported. 3 neighboring apartments sustained fire, smoke, and water damage.
Occupants of all 4 units have been displaced. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
This morning marks the first day of construction for a new mental health crisis center. The center will provide an alternative to emergency room visits, holding in jails, and provides help to community members in need of psychiatric services. Manhattan residents with mental health issues have been lacking access to higher levels of care involving inpatient psychiatric services. The Crisis Stabilization Center will be open 24/7 and will be an easier way to seek help. Wayne Sloan, chairman of the board of directors with the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, is a supporter of the service.
It is just a very needed facility in Manhattan, and I have to speak from personal experience. We lost our oldest son to suicide 11 years ago.
One of the goals for the new Crisis Stabilization Center here in Manhattan is to stop those struggling with mental health to end up in the hospital or spend some time here at jail. About a year and a half ago, the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services and Pawnee worked together to evaluate all the data, realizing there's a huge need for mental health services in Manhattan. Bruce Johnson, the manager for the Crisis Center, emphasizes its importance.
Somebody's in the middle of the night, we see a lot of relationship issues or intoxication or substance abuse issues going on, and that person is despondent, feeling like they want to die, kill themselves, and they need that support right then and there, but they don't necessarily need to be shipped 2 hours away to go to an inpatient psychiatric unit for a week.
In Manhattan, I'm Alex Gailey, Channel 8 News. The Pawnee Crisis Center is expected to open at the end of September and will be ready to provide their services.
Another construction project in Manhattan is ongoing. The National Bio and Agri-Defense Facility, better known as NBAF, is now expected to be fully operational no later than 2023. In 2009, after a nationwide 3-year competition, Manhattan was selected as the new location of NBAF, moving from Plum Island, New York. As of this year, multiple sections of the site have started to look like an entire facility instead of just cranes and skeletons of steel.
Construction on the main lab started in 2015. They knew at the start it was going to be a 5-year construction time. Poured concrete for 2.5 years just for the main part of it. And so 2020, December of next year is when they're figuring the construction will be done. Then they go through a 6 to 12 month commissioning process, verifying that all the systems are working right and that sort of thing. So then it's after that then they start.
While NBAF construction moves along, the debate on Medicaid rages on. The following K-State student protests in favor of expanding Medicaid, the state legislature delayed passing a budget for the next fiscal year to review an expansion of CanCare. CanCare is the state equivalent of Medicaid and provides health care to more than 400,000 Kansas residents. If expanded, the program would help more low-income families access health care. Recent polls suggest the majority of Kansans support expanding CanCare. Nate Faflick is just one of 3 K-State students detained in the Kansas State House for displaying unapproved banners calling out conservative lawmakers for blocking legislation supporting Medicaid expansion.
It has benefits for both rural and urban communities. Recently there have been a lot of rural hospitals that have faced closures due to the lack of economic activity within those spaces, and then it also supports a lot of lower income urban communities as well.
The debate on Can expansion is ongoing. The horizons around Manhattan have been pretty smoky lately due to field burnings. We now go live to Anna Christensen at the Rennells Research Center near Pillsbury Crossing. She just might put out the fire of your curiosity. Anna?
Thanks, Amelia. People driving through Manhattan recently might think the whole town is on fire, but reporter Miriam Chamberlain looked into why there's been so much smoke in the air.
The burning of Konza Prairie, a natural system that has been in place for more than 40 years, has provided many benefits in research on soil weathering, particularly for graduate student Colleen Gura on how elements break down into the soil.
Burning happens naturally. It's a natural part of prairie systems, and so we need Konza and the research that happens out there in order to understand how those systems behave and how they'll work moving into the future.
It's important for Manhattan fields to burn because of the moisture we receive every year can cause intense greenery growth.
Big concern with prescribed burning is safety, and part of that is human health as well. And so that's something that we're quite aware of and try to encourage people to use some of the tools we have available to them to burn on days when maybe the smoke will not head toward major metropolitan areas. It's hard, when you burn, you're going to have smoke, but we can use, we have a smoke management tool that will predict for us on a given day where the smoke will go.
As with any fire, a prairie burn can be unpredictable.
We're very careful about what sites we burn when, and we make sure that the wind direction is favorable so it makes the least impact on the least amount of people possible.
Fire is a natural process that is essential to the health of forests and prairies alike. Without controlled burns, we get enough rainfall here in eastern Kansas that in 35 to 40 years, we could go from a grassland to a forest. In Manhattan, I'm Miriam Chamberlain for Channel 8 News.
The health of the prairie depends heavily on regular burning, and researchers do a lot of work to find the best times and places to burn. With me, I have Carol Baldwin, a K-State researcher and professor who specializes in field burning and ecology. Carol, thanks so much for coming out.
Nice to be here today.
Can you tell me a little bit about where we are, what kind of research they do here?
Yes, we're on the Rennells property, which is owned by K-State and managed through the Department of Agronomy, and it's where they do a lot of fire and grazing research.
And how can you tell when a field has been burned?
Well, behind us you can see the fresh green of a recently burned field, and further over in the distance you can see the brown of a field that hasn't been burned yet. And that's how you can tell the color at this time of year. So the blackened surface warms and the grass starts growing rapidly.
And what benefits do we see out of field burning? Why do we do that every year?
There are several objectives to field burning. Some of the most common are to keep down brush, so we can see that junipers and other brushy species in many pastures that aren't burned. It also improves livestock production and their gains. It also increases the amount of wildlife. Many of the prairie wildlife are dependent on landscapes that have been burned.
And then what kind of safety measures are there when we are burning? How do we keep people safe while treating the prairie?
The safety measures are several. Having enough crew, having enough experience, having enough resources to get the job done safely, keeping the smoke off the roads and up in the air where it belongs.
Well, thanks so much for coming out and teaching us a little about field burning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Coming up next, we have a look at the Flint Hills Discovery Center raising money for more children's spaces, and a look ahead at weather for Easter weekend. That and more on Channel 8 News.
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind.
A family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are
a family that believes
that diversity, inclusion,
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
This was my first time taking an online course, and well, it went really well. It really did not feel like an online course for me. It felt like we were in a classroom talking and discussing and collaborating with each other. It's a renowned university, and I really take pride in calling myself a Wildcat, and I'm really proud that I'm a K-State alumni now. So I think it adds up a lot of value that I'm from K-State.
Welcome to K-State. We're so excited all of you came to visit us here on campus. We're going to be starting our tour here in front of Anderson Hall, which is our administrative building and kind of our iconic building on campus. It houses our president's office and our vice president for student life. All right, let's get started. We're going to be going to the Union next. It houses our pool.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. The Flint Hills Discovery Center is looking to make a few upgrades to become more child-friendly. Channel 8 reporter Dayton Bossord has the story.
The $5 million Next Vistas campaign will be used to fund new upgrades to the Flint Hills Discovery Center.
Next Vistas campaign is an effort to sustain the Flint Hills Discovery Center through time by creating funds for updating the kidscape, creating a new kidscape.
The Flint Hills Discovery Center is already geared towards kids, but in an ever-changing, ever-evolving world, upgrades are needed to benefit the kids in our community.
Kidscape is a project that has been conceived by the Discovery Center staff and with input from the public to create a new educational landscape focused on the Flint Hills. Part of the facility on the second floor was not finished during initial construction because of budget constraints, and so this is an effort to create and build out the second floor, focusing on kids and their experience of the Flint Hills.
The Flint Hills Discovery Center hopes to break ground on these projects by 2020. Donations are being accepted in many forms.
We would definitely appreciate community involvement, and what they could do is make a donation to the Next Vistas campaign. We have several ways that people might make their donations, just multiple ways. They can also call our office here in the Discovery Center.
For more information on the New Vistas campaign, go to www.flinthillsdiscovery.org. For Channel 8 News, I'm Dayton Bossard.
The Flint Hills Discovery Center is also looking for volunteers to help or learn more. Call 785-587-2726.
But while the Flint Hills Discovery Center gets updated, some rented housing in Manhattan is falling into disrepair. For many residents, unsafe and unaffordable housing is an ongoing challenge. As the rate of unhappy tenants rises, more people are calling to the city to take action. Currently, the City of Manhattan does not require rental companies to schedule routine inspections as part of the new rental program. This lack of enforcement allows property owners and managers to leave tenants in unsafe situations. Some of these situations are as small as a leaky faucet, but others are more severe and cause major harm to tenants. K-State student Caroline Fullerton has battled both bug issues and multiple floods.
Last night, we came downstairs and the basement was flooded. And we called them and they basically were telling us things that didn't make sense. They were telling us it was our fault.
The 12th annual Record Store Day took place last Saturday. Known as a Black Friday for vinyl, friendly competitive shopping brought vinyl lovers together from all over town. Reporter Sarah Wallace has a story from the first person in line on Record Store Day.
A Saturday morning at a ripe 6 a.m. for any other person would be spent in bed. But for vinyl fan Stratton Sanyi, it was time to get in line and wait to snag some deals on rarities in music.
I've been in line since 5:30. Yeah, it's been a long wait. This guy ended up showing up 10 minutes after me, so I had some company for most of the wait. It's always important to get to Record Store Day fairly early because there's a lot of limited releases, and if you want to get the vinyl record that you want, you gotta kind of work for it. So I'd say usually the first 5 places in line are usually the best spots to be, pick up everything that you want to get.
On any other day besides the Black Friday of records, you could come to Aggieville's Sisters of Sound record shop, and odds are you'll run into Stratton.
I think the main thing is this has become less about the actual process of collecting records and more about just hanging out. This is kind of the spot to be for a lot of people, particularly the regulars like to come in and hang out. I think on average I'm in here about twice a week for a couple hours, so.
Tips on proper vinyl care include keeping them in their plastic case so they last longer. Try not to palm the record to keep it from scratching, and store them in an upright position on a shelf or crate to keep them from warping. Beyond proper care, Stratton has tips on how to find that perfect record.
Sometimes just grab something you don't know. You know, the cover looks cool, the song lists sound good. Actually, some of the better things that I've found are things that I had no idea what they were, and Sarah didn't even know what they were.
In Manhattan, Sarah Wallace, Channel 8 News.
Record Store Day takes place a single Saturday every April. You can expect the celebration of rarities and deals on vinyl to take place again next year at Manhattan's Sisters of Sound.
Vinyl was not the only thing celebrated in Manhattan on Saturday. The community also celebrated the 10th annual Little Apple Pride Festival to honor the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Inn riots. Channel 8 reporter Katie Fink has the story.
Inclusivity, support, bring about change. The goals of the annual Little Apple Pride Festival strive to do just that, but it hasn't always been easy.
When I started talking about gay liberation issues here in town, people thought I was crazy. Then we fought the Kansas Marriage Amendment, then we passed the first non-discrimination ordinance here in town, and since then, you know, it just keeps building.
The LGBTQ community has been historically marginalized, but for the last 10 years, Manhattan residents have rallied together to advocate for gay pride.
But I think it's really important for Manhattan to have this event because it not only showcases who we are, but it helps other people show who they are too. And I think it creates a really safe space to do that where people can just uninhibitedly, unapologetically just be who they are. And I think that's a really important piece that we're missing just in our community as a whole.
In Manhattan, half of our population is the college kids. So it's important that they're able to celebrate as well.
The event has become a safe haven for youth and college students where the importance of mental health is stressed.
It's just welcoming and accepting, and it's a great place to be because we both have had social anxiety before, and it's just awful to go into a place where you don't feel good. And I walked in here and I just felt the love.
In Manhattan, I'm Katie Fink for Channel 8 News.
The festival had the largest turnout in its history. You can keep up with Little Apple Pride events on their Facebook page.
Still to come on Channel 8 News, one of K-State's deans is leaving. What do students think? We will also take a look at the weather forecast.
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind.
A family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are
A family that believes
that diversity, inclusion,
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
This was my first time taking an online course, and well, it went really, really well. It really did not feel like an online course for me. It felt like we were in a classroom talking and discussing and collaborating with each other. It's a renowned university, and I really take pride in calling myself a Wildcat, and I'm really proud that I'm a K-State alumni now. So I think it adds up a lot of value that I'm from K-State.
Welcome to K-State. We're so excited all of you came to visit us here on campus. We're going to be starting our tour here in front of Anderson Hall, which is our administrative building and kind of our iconic building on campus. It houses our president's office and our vice president for student life. All right, let's get started. We're going to be going to the Union next. It houses our board.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News.
K-State's College of Engineering will lose its dean as he goes to pursue a presidency job at the University of Alabama. Darren Dawson has been with the College of Engineering since 2014. The dean has led a number of efforts to help improve the college, including $145 million raised over the last 5 years. In 2015, Dawson also helped advance the improvements and renovations to the engineering buildings.
As a computer science and applied math major, I would definitely say that the resources available in the engineering department are really nice. So I'd be surprised as to see what the effects of a new dean would have on our budget. what would have on our future projects that we're able to hold, and potentially where his vision and goal would want to take us, as a college.
Across the state this time of year, Kansas weather can change in an instant. Channel 8 weather anchor Dayton Bossard's here to tell us what the weather will look like this weekend. Dayton, what's in store for us?
Well, Amelia, if we take a look at our national weather map, if you see the east, up north it's going to be about 54, and down south a little warmer, about 84. Over here in the west, it's going to stay about 60s to 70s. Here in the Midwest, once again, 70s and 60s. We also have a cold front coming in from Denver and Illinois. We're going to see those come in and converge there here in the middle of the country. And if we look down here in Florida, we have a warm pressure front coming up and from Texas, and those are going to come up too, causing a little bit of severe weather. And if we go to our Kansas map, it's going to be in the 60s across Kansas. So let's go ahead and look at our daily weather today. We woke up this morning to about 60 degrees, pretty nice out. It's going to get up to 68. And tonight, it's going to get down to about 53 degrees, 25% precipitation today. And also, if we go ahead and take a look at our week forecast, Thursday is going to be 68, warming up throughout the week. But on Sunday, Easter Sunday, it's going to be a stormy day. We got a chance of severe weather that day, and Monday. For severe weather, we got some safety tips. Go ahead. We're going to send it back over here. How does K-State football look for next season? The Channel 8 sports team takes a look at that, as well as Manhattan High's girls soccer, up next on Channel 8 News.
We are
a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind.
a family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are a family that believes
That diversity, inclusion,
and sportsmanship.
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
This was my first time taking an online course, and well, it went really, really well. It really did not feel like an online course for me. It felt like we were in a classroom talking and discussing and collaborating with each other. It's a renowned university, and I really take pride in calling myself a Wildcat, and I'm really proud that I'm a K-State alumni now. So I think it adds up a lot of value that I'm from K-State.
Welcome to K-State. We're so excited all of you came to visit us here on campus. We're going to be starting our tour here in front of Anderson Hall, which is our administrative building and kind of our iconic building on campus. It houses our president's office and our vice president for student life. All right, let's get started. We're going to be going to the Union next. It houses our pool.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Spring is in the air, and we all know that means Wildcat football is back on the gridiron this year with a new coach. Now we go to Macy Burning, who has the latest in sports. Macy?
Thanks, Alex. That's right, K-State football hosted a public practice last weekend. The open forum highlighted the differences under the new head coach, Chris Kleiman. Channel 8 reporter Trace Salzbrenner caught up with the team to learn more.
There's a difference on the field for the K-State Wildcats. The legendary head football coach Bill Snyder has retired, but the feelings are not quite as sad as some might expect. Team members like Hunter Risen state that there is an excited air around the team.
It's just a new energy, just going through change. Change is good, so we went through that. We're excited, we're moving forward. We got a lot of work to do, but we're moving ahead, and we're going to head into this offseason with full head of steam.
Risen was not the only player to mention the new energy that was felt by the team. Sammy Wheeler shared the idea.
There's tons of changes. I think just the attitude of the team, just how we've been coming out and the energy, really.
And that excitement that each of the players are feeling can be felt by the audience, whether they're experiencing the game here at the Bill or in your own living room. Half of that excitement is being created by different players trying out different positions under the direction of Coach Kleiman.
We're still mixing and matching guys. We've flipped Goolsby and Alexander, and we flipped Wayne a little bit, just position, so we can find the best position that'll fit them in August.
There's no doubt that this team is excited to see some action on the field.
Not being able to play last year just gave me an urge to just be out there, but I was still cheering them on, so now I can be out there with them. So I'm just excited to just be on this field, as simple as that.
At Bill Snyder Family Stadium, I am Trey Selsbrenner for Channel 8 News.
One of the players featured, Sammy Wheeler, was switched from being quarterback to tight end. We should expect more switches in the lineup like this one as we get closer to the season. The Manhattan High Lady Indians soccer team played a match against the Topeka Trojans on Tuesday at Bishop Stadium. For most of the game, the Trojans kept a lead of 2-1 against the Manhattan High. That was until the last 5 minutes of the game when the Indians pulled out ahead. The MHS girls tied up the game and then minutes later pulled ahead, winning the match 3-2. The next game for the Lady Indians is next Tuesday evening against Trinity Academy. You can catch that game at 6:45 at Bishop Stadium in Cisco Park. Need something to do this weekend? K-State's Hispanic American Leadership Organization might have an idea for you after the break.
We are
a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind.
a family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are a family that believes
That diversity, inclusion,
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
This was my first time taking an online course, and well, it went really well. It really did not feel like an online course for me. It felt like we were in a classroom talking and discussing and collaborating with each other. It's a renowned university, and I really take pride in calling myself a Wildcat, and I'm really proud that I'm a K-State alumni now. So I think it adds up a lot of value that I'm from K-State.
Welcome to K-State. We're so excited all of you came to visit us here on campus. We're going to be starting our tour here in front of Anderson Hall, which is our administrative building and kind of our iconic building on campus. It houses our president's office and our vice president for student life. All right, let's get started. We're going to be going to the Union next. It houses our pool.
Looking for something to do this weekend? K-State students will showcase talents like singing and self-defense this coming Saturday. The Hispanic Leadership Organization helps Latino members in the area with service and community engagement. Over the weekend, the organization will host their annual beauty pageant. The money raised goes for scholarships towards scholarships for the participants. The event coordinator said this event is the biggest of the year.
This is the 8th annual Belleza Latina pageant. It's put on by Halo every single spring. I know it was started by a guy actually. So he saw Black and Gold, he saw Miss K-State, and it was just an idea that he had, and he just really wanted to do it. So he got a few girls together, and that's how the pageant came about, is from what I heard. Belleza Latina is really an opportunity to show K-State what Halo is made of and what Latinos on campus are made of.
All right, so Alex, do you have any plans for Easter this Sunday?
Yeah, I'm actually about to go to my lake house.
Are you serious? Me too. Where's your lake house at?
Lake of the Ozarks.
Me too. That is crazy. Okay, that's all we have for Channel 8. See you next Thursday.
This is Channel 8 News.